Hello friends, welcome to another reel by Bharat Raghu. Today we would be looking at what is Subhasism, the man behind Subhash Chandra Bose, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. But what is Subhasism? So this is a word you may not have heard much, but it is an ideology. It is the ideology of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And Subhasism is described in its core ideology by the All India Forward Bloc. The All India Forward Bloc is the party which Subhash Chandra Bose formed after he basically split from the Congress and he moved out of the Congress. He charted his own course, and the All India Forward Bloc was the party he formed. The ideology, I will be putting a link to the All India Forward Bloc website so that you can go through its motto, you can go through its constitution. But let's just look at what the All India Forward Bloc, the party of Subhash Chandra Bose, says about it. Says that Subhasism is its core ideology. Okay, what is Subhasism? So Subhasism is basically a mix, as we call, as of Indian socialism, basically. So what the Forward Bloc also mentions in the website is the goal is to establish socialism. So Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, as he had declared self, he was a socialist. What do you mean by socialist? So he believed in socialist planning, socialist production, and he wanted India to be a socialist state where you don't have haves and have-nots, too much of schism in the society. You want equality in the society, you want the mass industrialization, you want the public sectors, you want the huge dams, the public projects. So a socialist state is what he dreamt of building. So socialism, the Indian socialism, is what is one of the core ideologies of the Forward Bloc, which is one of the main tenets of Subhasism. Okay, why is it Indian socialism? Why not say Marxism? So Marxism has its own, it comes with its construct. It has its own theory where it talks about class struggle, it talks about how history has flown, and it says socialism is a means to an end. The end is communism. That is what is Marxism. That is what Karl Marx's basically theory is. But socialism per se, wanting socialism, is what differentiates this from Marxism. It doesn't talk of class struggle. So Indian socialism, or what Netaji wanted to build, and even Nehru, what he envisioned was not class struggle. They wanted to build through democratic means a socialist state where the state has a predominant role to play. Of course, along there will be private capital, there would be private players, but the state will have a predominant role, like the BHEL, the SAIL, like how Nehru went on to build. Nehru was an out and out socialist, similar to Bose. So in terms of that, there is no difference between both of them. But so coming back to Subhasism, Indian socialism is very important, number one. Number two is humanism, as it puts it in the Forward Bloc website. So humanism is basically where you are away from dogmatism or any kind of religious, hatred or communal tensions or communal, what we see maybe in today's India. But, this is not what Netaji wanted. It was a very, very, there was the unity of the Hindus, the Muslims, the Christians, the Sikhs, all the religions who are there in the country was predominant for Bose, as demonstrated in the Azad Hind Fauj. The Azad Hind Fauj had a huge number of Muslim generals, Muslim commanders, it had Sikh commanders, it had many languages, it had women leaders. So it was a very diverse group as what he believed in. Okay, so this is the second thing, humanism and secularism. Secularism, humanism. So humanism is away from any dogmatic, dogma basically. So that's where human values matter most. Secularism. So it is Indian socialism, secularism, humanism. And another important pillars of Subhash's ideology, or Subhasism as we call it, is national revivalism. So national revivalism, as put in the website, and bringing back the Indian civilizational values to the world. So he doesn't talk about Hindu civilization. He says Indian civilization. So Indian civilization, national revivalism and secularism. What is the difference between Indian civilization? So when you say Indian civilization, it goes back to thousands of years. It goes back to the time of course, it goes back to the Indus Valley, it goes back to the Harappan civilization, it may go back to many other such sites which we haven't discovered. It goes back to the early empires. It goes back to the Mauryas, it goes back even before to all the Guptas. It goes back, but it comes to it includes it in the Indian civilization includes the Mughals. The Indian civilization has the Mughals, it has the Delhi Sultanate, it has the sultanates of say Bijapur, Golconda, the south, the Bahmani Sultanate. So it has all of that. That's what and it has basically the underlying people struggles, not just the kings and it's not, because socialism is the objective. So when you make socialism and you mix that with the Indian civilization, revivalism of Indian civilization, it is not just the stories of kings and princes and their wars, it is also the story of people's struggles, right? So let's summarize it. This is what is Subhasism. It is Indian socialism, to build a socialist state where you don't have haves and have-nots and the schism and huge unemployments and 1% of the wealth being owned by 1% of the wealth of India being owned by a few billionaires. That's not socialism. That is not at all what Netaji wanted to build. Indian socialism, secularism, humanism, and national revivalism of Indian civilization. These are the tenets of Subhasism, and this is the need of the hour for today's India. We need to follow the path of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, our national hero. Hope you like this reel. Thanks for watching. Bharat Raghu signing off.